Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to the early access for Solasta II. It's been a while, and for good reason, because as I just stated, this is in fact an inherently unfinished early access alpha build. And, it turns out that where we left off last time was slightly problematic in that if we rested, we would not have access to the rest of the area. But if we didn't rest, we would have to deal with the rest of the area under-leveled and running on fumes, neither of which was really ideal. But thankfully, they do seem to have since addressed that issue. So now we can, in fact, give it a rest and enjoy those hard-earned level-ups, which I do have specific raider requests for. Starting with Norva, who will become a scavenger, which grants a once per round attack advantage if she doesn't move, a once per round damage bonus, and better prices in shops. Followed by Doomnani, who, as per his request, will become a court mage. That's an interesting one, because it grants him shield proficiency, the shielding fighting style, and spell shield, which is essentially a very weird sort of shared damage shield at its current level, a 9 hit point buffer for him and one ally, which will also distribute the damage received over both characters. Sadly, only twice per day at his current level, but I could certainly see it coming in handy. The main downside really is that I believe it does take a standard action to cast. We'll definitely get more use out of the new shield proficiency and fighting style. As for his spells, he is at his core a dedicated support caster, so we'll stay focused on that. And looking at our options here, I'm thinking we'll go with Dark Vision and See Invisibility. Those both feel like good ones to have in our corner. No guarantee we'll actually need them, but always good to have on tap. Especially since neither requires concentration, which is, as always, a bit of a pet peeve. I am not a fan of that system. And then we'll go ahead and adjust his loadout just to make sure those new spells are equipped. Which one is? But we do need to drop something else, so you know what? We haven't really been able to spare the slot for False Life anyway, so let's drop that one. And then we'll pick up See Invisibility, just on the off chance it happens to come up. So yeah, that's it for Doomnani. A nice defensive boost plus some extra arcane utility. Which brings us to Robsfoot, who I believe I mentioned in previous videos wanted to be a ranger, but they weren't available yet. So we'll do the next best thing. We'll make him an Aether Warden, which is very ranger adjacent. It essentially turns him into a wizard-like caster, albeit with his spellcasting ability scaling off Constitution rather than Intelligence. Which, is good for reasons. I'll refrain from commenting too much on that. Then, as far as selection goes, we'll stay focused on support again. We'll grab Dazzle, which is the only bonus action cantrip available. And, again, just a good one to have on tap. And then I think we'll grab Shadow Armor. It's not much, but it's a little extra hit point buffer per fight. One we can cast at will, so certainly doesn't hurt. And then, likewise with his standard spells, we'll grab Featherfall and Shield. Both good ones to have on tap. And for his third, I was leaning Longstrider just because Ranger, but actually, since we just dropped False Life on Doomnani, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with my gut here. Change of plans. We'll grab False Life instead. Not for himself. He'll use Shadow Armor on himself since he's our secondary fighter. But he can use False Life on Braum to help prop up the party's primary tank. And then the rest of his slots just go towards the reactive casts. or re-upping false life as need be. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Which brings us to Braun. And he will, of course, go in the opposite direction. We only have access to 2 subclasses right now, so he'll take the other one, which is Commander. That grants him Gruff Authority, 2 extra proficiencies, which we don't need to personally set because it turns out he's already got most of these as is, so this will just give him the rest. But then also will allow him to tag his Strength modifier onto Charisma and Intimidation checks, which I believe is cumulative, so in theory that should push his bonus for both up to +7. And then aside from that, he also gets Rousing Shout, which grants attack advantage to himself and an ally 3 times per rest, which I've got to say, honestly sounds pretty fantastic. With 4 short rests per day, that's up to 12 times per day, versus poor Doomnani with that twice per day shield power. But, you know, it is what it is. That's just D&D in a nutshell. Kind of all over the place when it comes to balance. But it's fine. The important thing is we're now topped off and with a bunch of new tricks up our sleeve. Should hopefully leave us pretty well equipped to deal with whatever comes next. Lovely. And let's see what's going on with this little outcropping here. It seems to be separate from the other approach to the cave. Yeah, we can already see there's a container down there.
We should take a look at this.
Ooh, nice. Assorted gems plus a pouch full of strange mushrooms. Some really odd mushrooms that might be of interest to someone in Kaer Mar. Okay, that is for the optional side quest. Weird place to find them. Submerged in the ocean, but sure. Oh, and there's our real prize there. We've got a magic scimitar, which we can already see just from the stat block is +1. As well as some other assorted goods, a potion, which we can certainly use. A stack of low-value gems. And a lore book, also submerged in the ocean. Again, kind of a weird place to find it, but let's see. Horde Among Hordes, a treatise written by Voronir Rothikas, dragonborn scholar on all things draconic. It describes the relationships that kobolds form with their dragon overseers and how mortals might better understand them. By Roth the Raucous. I'm not really sure how that applies to anything that we're seeing here. But we did, I guess, glimpse a dragon on the dock, so yeah, let's give it a peek, I guess. Might come in handy. One might think that being a dragonborn myself might earn more favor with trying to infiltrate kobold society. But think again. The blasted ruffians have thwarted my attempts on 3 separate occasions already. The first were a family of scavengers in charge of providing their master with scraps of both food and various trinkets. First contact resulted in little more than angry yelling and many thrown spears. Something about my very existence usurping their precious dragon overlord. I never even got a glance at what type it was, sadly. The second group were fairly docile, believe it or not. They worshipped their dragon like a god, carving totems out of wood and laying offerings in the swamp they lived in exchange for protection. As it turned out, the black dragon they revered so much didn't even know they existed, and, upon finding it myself, managed to not only provoke its ire, but Also, accidentally lead it toward the kobolds that cherished it so much. If any survived, I'm sure they scattered among the wilds. The third and final family of kobolds, yes, you heard right, a family, like the first group, had burrowed into the cellar of a tavern in a small, nameless village. While they were quite talkative and friendly, it was clear that they might very well have been tapping the kegs themselves and were not entirely sober. Also, they did not seem to even know what dragons were, since they kept calling me one. I shall continue with part 2 soon as my new kobold friends stop following me. Roth the Raucous. Alright, I take that back. That probably doesn't help us much. Fun read, though. I mean, I guess there's a chance there's kobolds in yonder cave. It doesn't really feel like they've set up for it, but guess we'll see. We're headed there next.
Oh, that's all you do, you lazy good-for-nothing. Drink, drink, drink. While out there, the darkness takes our friends.
Don't see you saving the world anytime soon.
So, what is it?
No one's there.
Those are not the voices of the living.
Undead.
I don't think so. Just weak, ghostly voices. Nothing dangerous.
Yeah, see, we are getting some, weird crossed signals here. The main bulk of our story arc for this location is clearly surrounding this whole necromantic haunting, but then we've also got this weird, random kobold and dragon stuff on the side, which feels unrelated, but ooh, wow. And another magic item. You know what, it does feel like a bit of a waste, but let's go ahead and get that thing ID'd. I was going to hold off on the scimitar since it's not something we can immediately use, or rather, not something we're immediately set up to use. But the boots are a different story. Let's have a peek. Oh, weird. Everyone can identify. That doesn't seem right. Tidewalkers. Ignores difficult terrain. A trusty pair of boots discovered by an old sailor. They shield you from the cold sea and treacherous terrain. A simple but welcome bonus. Can we do the scimitar as well? Yeah, which is a basic +1. Okay, weird. I don't think that's working the way it's supposed to, but again, this is just an alpha, so we won't worry about it too much just yet. Our first +1 weapon, sadly not one we're currently really built for. Yeah, since Dorva is currently weapon focused on short swords and daggers. Could potentially swap out short sword for scimitar, dual wield scimitars, or offhand a scimitar. I'll think about that. Boots are still a nice find, though. Alright, let's push on, and be wary of the geysers, I suppose. Also, let's set some basic buffs. Lights up.
Marike Oculus! We bring light in darkness.
We'll hold off on the vision spells. We don't know if we need those yet. But we will do the temp HP.
Akada Net Verive Akada Abio Clype.
What on Solasta is that?
Looks like a rib cage. A huge one.
What kind of creature gets that big?
More importantly,
What kills something that big?
Maybe it just got stuck in the bay?
That takes first prize for stupidest death of a legendary monster.
All right, well, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about. You're clearly referring to something that is not actually on my screen. And second, man, come on.
Maraike, Abio, Pure.
Waste of a spell slot. I will say, though, that given their banter about dragons and a giant ribcage, even if we're not seeing it, it is starting to sound like they're setting us up for a giant dragon skeleton, which would be more on theme with the haunted harbor.
Gods, what is that unholy smell?
Oh, my... I think I'm gonna hurl.
I was going to say something just died, but
What do you think they're doing here? Worshipping something. Look, there, in the center. I have a bad feeling about this. Looks like some kind of monstrous cesspit. Well, there's only one way to find out what's going on.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Oh, and we're fighting. A giant crab, not what I would have expected. Also, skeleton. That at least is a bit more standard. Immediately under siege, we've got a normal skeleton, we've got a caster, just off to our left, and a trio of crossbones plus the crab. No knights, no specters, okay. Obviously the crab's a bit of a tank, so I guess they decided to go light with the rest.
Arcana, Evo, Malmis.
Try again.
Go for days. Nice.
Clype.
Well, that worked out. Though, technically, Robsfoot could have done that too. Crossbones incoming, but they don't have line of sight. Let's clear this guy off. Out of here. Nice. Immediate pivot off to the caster. Nice, nice. We could push right in, lock this guy down. Yeah, let's go for it. Crossbones still incoming. Thankfully, this terrain gives us ample cover. Brawn. Toss this guy out. Oh, wow. Holy moly. Braun, my man. No accounting for crits. We will absolutely take it. But you just know that after that, Karma is going to whiplash back on us. Let's set a shield wall formation. Yep, and there's RNG already turning. Crab moves in. Nice. No attack. Also, I did not even notice the geysers, so let's keep those in mind. It's actually on top of one, so in theory that's a little extra environmental damage each round. Shoot, okay. I need to make sure we toss a gem to Doomnani.
Arcana, Evo.
But for now we'll make do. Start whittling the big guy.
Malmis.
Nope.
Clyde.
Might need to split focus on the crossbones, but they haven't hit us yet. We'll stay focused on the big guy. He is resistant to all physical damage, but we've already got him like a quarter down. He's also actively providing us with cover from their attacks, so between that and our new shield, I think we're in pretty good shape.
Nayorka, Evo, Malmis!
Down to 2/3. And Braun, let's get you in there. Yeah, I think the big thing that's going to make or break here is what this guy does, because he has not actually attacked us yet. Oh, but now when he does, he'll do it with disadvantage. Oh, okay. Interesting. Big guy at half and apparently running away. Honestly, not sure if that's intentional or just a bug.
Arcana, Evo, Malmis.
Like, he could be entering a new phase. That might be what he's trying to do, like fall back and start a range phase or something. Because we hit him so hard on round one. Let's give him a sec. We'll trim a crossbones. Like, I do want to win the fight, but also I want to see if he's just broken. Nicely done. I do need to remember she has that new stationary advantage thing. You good over there? What? All right. Nice. Oh, he is. He is in a new phase. We've got reinforcements on site. Noted. Oh, wow. And yeah, hard turn on the RNG there. Thankfully, Braun had that 7 hit point buffer from false life. Oh shoot, we've got one on our back.
Are you okay?
All right. Let's clear this one. Nice. But hold up front. And that would be why. Okay, so he just backed off to call the reinforcements. We're doing okay on hit points. We're a little dinged up, but nothing too bad. Let's go ahead and clear our back.
Arcana, Evo, Malmis!
Slight overkill, but, you know, better safe than sorry. Could have theoretically rolled as low as just 4 or 5 damage. But now that we're clear, refocus on the big guy. Nice. But again, need to remember I have this.
Nayorka, Evo, Malmis!
Boo! Might as well top off. We're resting right after this anyway. Lovely. Buys us some more breathing room. Nope. Oop. Brawn down about a fifth. Thankfully, the crossbones continue to be ineffectual. So we will finish off the dredger. Oh, nice. Also, days in case we need to move away. Not that I'm planning to, but still. It is good to have the option. They're starting to stack, so let's force the issue. About time we actually got some use out of these things. Oh, right, and because that was a bonus action, we can also do this. So that's an extra 9 hit point buffer for both of them. Norva, why don't you... Oh, wow, nice. Giemza. Burning Hands.
Nayorka, Evo. Malmit!
And that will do it. Oh man, Giemza, once again, clearly illustrating why we have yet to complete your quest. Which, granted, is a bit shellfish, but still, it is going to be rough losing that firepower.
I owe you.
Let's mop up the rest. Okay. The melee guys are stalling, just trying to... Oh, gosh. Norva down and bleeding out. My goodness. Wow, that was a one-shot drop. But again, crits happen. I guess with all those shots they were taking on us, it was bound to happen eventually. Dumnani should have one slot left. We'll have a word. Yeah, they're just sandbagging. Which is fine.
Marike Abio Pure.
Oh, right, that's a bonus action. So we can also do this.
Arcana Evo Malmis.
Boo.
Clype.
Oh, shoot. No, I shouldn't have done that. My bad. That was not... Yeah. Back off. I thought you were a lighter target. I was hoping I could one-tap you, but... You're actually pretty tanky, too. Yeah, I thought those guys were the same as the one who hit us from behind, but no, they're... Oh, gosh. Alright, come on now. Nice. Yeah, we steamrolled the boss. The ads are suddenly giving us a really tough time, but... I guess that's just how it goes. The nature of RNG. Sometimes things get dicey. Man. All right, let's wrap this up before we get RNG to death, because we are rapidly heading in that direction. Ugh, these guys. Nice. Alright, Doomnani, let's go ahead and prop up Norva. Gives us another 9-point cushion. Gotta say, that power actually came in immediate use, so I guess perhaps I was a bit too harsh with my initial assessment, though I will also highlight that is the last time we can use it today. Ow. But entirely into the shield. Lovely. Really should start focusing down the range, guys, though. Let's work on that. I would split off into separate groups. The problem is, once we do that, we dilute our defense pool, since a lot of our defensive strength comes from adjacency.
Arcana, Evo.
Why are you at disadvantage? What's going on here?
Arcana, Evo, Malmis.
Darkness, maybe? Oh! Right, yeah, okay. Because there's a guy tucked under the big crab. Yeah, I totally forgot you were there because I could not physically see you. You know what? Fair enough. I guess I should kill you too. There we go. Nope. All right, let's wrap this up. Time to scuttle these guys once and for all. Oh, snap. Wow, why were you not doing that the entire time? Oh, probably because it had allies adjacent previously to avoid friendly fire.
Arcana, Evo, Malmis.
Nice. Whew, boy. It's funny because, like, we were clearly dominating right up until the boss dropped. Then the minions kicked it into high gear. Let's push up. We'll go ahead and risk splitting now. That's fine. Just pinning it is a step in the right direction. Because we can do that. Reposition. That'll do it. Push the one left.
Arcana, Evo, Malmis!
Nice. Man, that is, maybe it's just me, but it feels like we're seeing a lot of crits. Though I suppose that could also just be, you know, confirmation bias. There's actually a lot of dice being tossed around. So really, it's like, what? 6 crits out of 100 rolls, something like that? Maybe slightly above average? Oh, shoot. You know what? I also just realized I completely blanked on Braun's new thing. The Commander's Shout. The one that grants him and an ally advantage on their next attack. That would have come in handy earlier. Though, in my defense, I think I'd have to double check when he comes back up, but I think the reason I overlooked it is because it's concealed under submenus, as opposed to Doomnani and Norva's new thing.
Arcana, Evo, Malmis!
Which are very clearly displayed right on their hotbar. Yeah, I think bronze is concealed in his bonus action menu. No harm done, I suppose. I'll remember it next time. Nicely done, guys. Let's see what we got. Also, I am suspecting we've got at least one more fight in here, so we won't stray too far. We'll just grab our loot, be wary of the geysers, and then short rest before we go any further. Nothing much of note. Just a bunch of vendor trash. Sadly, they have not implemented the crafting system just yet.
I'm so tired.
What about the big guy? Did we get whatever's on him? We did not. Octopus shaped staff. How very eldritch.
Look at all those runes. Look at the inlays, the craftsmanship. This looks too good to be a normal staff. It must be magical.
Oh, if that was in the crab's belly, I'm not touching it.
Look at this magical inscription, carved over the top of the original engraving. The magic from this item was used to channel a powerful abjuration spell. Well, it's a good-looking staff anyways. That confirms my theory. She used this staff to power a spell, preventing anyone from leaving and spreading the plague.
Interesting. Okay, not the direction I thought we were going in. But I suppose it does make sense, I guess. Let's see what this thing actually does. Sounds like a defensive power then. Sudden attunement option. Didn't have that before. Staff of the Deep. Resistant to cold. Cold damage is halved. This magic staff was used by Galdorath Raybeagle to channel enormous magic and seal off the harbor of Caer Simrai. Huh. Gotta say, I was really kind of expecting something a bit more potent after all that buildup, but I guess you could argue that she burned out most of the magic on the barrier. Oh, and I'll bet this staff is actually what she's looking for, you know, as part of like her unfinished business. Perhaps we have to make a choice between handing it over or keeping it for ourselves. Pretty classic CRPG conundrum. Keep the loot or complete the quest. We'll hold on to it for now, at least until we finish clearing this place out. Do we have to attune to this thing? It wouldn't actually let us while we were resting. I'm assuming not, because I'm not seeing anything on the actual item implying we do. Oh, nice. It actually has its own model. Slightly unexpected. Alright, well, let's see what else we've got in here. Diamond. We'll toss that to Doomnani so he can finally bust out the chromatic orb.
I just need to focus a little.
Ooh. Oh, well. I withdraw that ooh. That was not at all worth getting excited over. Oh, wait, is that it? I really figured we'd have at least one more area. Where'd her husband get off to? Unless we're supposed to assume the undead caster was her husband. Honestly, there's a lot I'm unclear on in this whole scenario. We know that Gilberath used this Staff of the Deep to, I guess, create a barrier to keep the plague contained after her husband inadvertently brought it back upon them. But then there was indication that he was taking the dead and wandering off with them, which I guess was to here? Like, all the dead, I'm assuming, are the undead that we fought. Both back in the harbor and here as well. Though I'm unclear on why they were, like, dancing around the buried crab, or where the ruins he was supposedly exploring are supposed to be. I thought those were implied to be nearby, unless they're outside of the harbor town entirely. Like, I guess they never did say it was in the town or immediately accessible. Just that he came back with the infection before she locked the town down. Weird. Okay. Well, let's see what happens if we actually take this thing back to her.
Give it now! I must have it!
Okay, well, I mean, she clearly wants it, so yes, this is in fact what she is looking for. But as far as I can tell, there's no way for us to actually hand it over? Very strange. I mean, look, I would actually give it to her if it was an actual option, just to see what happens. I mean, I can live without cold resistance. And I suppose that's it. Yeah, now that I'm looking off right, I can see the quest has actually completely closed. It's no longer being tracked. So I guess we are done. Huh. All right. Like, I don't know. That wasn't bad. I do feel like they could probably stand to clean up around the edges. Try to make it clearer how everything fits together narratively. Like, I saw that they gave us some context as we were doing things, but it was only in the info log for like a split second before it faded back out. If they want to feed me narrative context, it really needs to be done in a way that I can more prominently see. But I mean, look, as far as quests go, that was fine. Pretty straightforward side quest, a couple of relatively tough fights, though the first one was definitely harder than the second one. The knights and wraiths were a whole lot scarier than the crabs. Still unclear on what, like, the dragons or the kobold tangent really had to do with anything. The giant ribcage or dragon shadow we never saw, despite the extended commentary on them. Feels like that might have just been kind of a crossed wire, something completely separate from what was actually going on here. But overall, you know, considering this is just an alpha, obviously still very much a work in progress, I'd give that side quest like I don't know, 6 out of 10. Serviceable. Interesting story, even if it was a bit muddied by the random extra bits of lore. And the final resolution fell a bit flat. I'd bump it up to a 7 if we actually had the option to hand the staff off to the ghost. Anyway, we are pretty tapped, so I guess this is a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll get our guys rested up, ready to go. And we'll pick up here next time. Would be nice to get some closure on her husband as well, the necromancer who actually caused all this. But I'll reserve judgment on that until we've had a chance to scout the surrounding territories. Maybe we'll find those ruins he was so obsessed with. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Erie-B23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.